Welcome. In the previous session, we have seen executing basic SQL queries on the table in MySQL database. But we had just written a single PHP script. Now, moving on, we will see how to connect our graphical user interface with the backend database. So, this user interface will be a web page having input controls like text box, choice, list, drop down list, radio button, etc. And whatever input we will be giving into this input controls, GUI controls, according to our trigger of action, that data has to be updated in the MySQL database at the backend. So we will do the same connectivity steps in PHP. It means I have to design a graphical user interface, a web page in the HTML language, and at the back end, I should create a MySQL database for performing SQL queries on the table. So now let's see, we have seen in the MySQL database there can be multiple database, and each database might be having multiple tables, and in turn multiple tables are having a number of record which is a collection of data. Now how we can have a HTML form connected with the backend? Let us first we will design the HTML graphical user interface form. So we will design a form. Action is equal to, here we will give the name of our PHP script, suppose dbp.php, where method can be a get or post method. And here suppose id is the label. In front of that we will have the text box. Name of this text box is id. After that I want a line break. Then I want field for name and salary. Accordingly, I will change the name of text boxes. The name of the name text box is small name and salary is salary. Now after this, for action to be happen, we have to write input type is equal to submit button. Name of this button, suppose I am giving insert, and the caption of the button, suppose I am giving as add record. Now end of the form, end of the body, and end of the HTML tag. We have to save this file under XAMPP htdocs with any name ui.html, or suppose emp.html. Now we have to write this dbp.php file. Before that we will see how the emp.html file appears on our local host. emp.html file. So it has appeared. What I want to do, I want to give a record. Suppose I am giving a record, and when I click on add record, this id name salary should turn into the column, and these values should get added in our emp table. That is what we want. So we have to write that connectivity code of connecting our this HTML page with the backend MySQL, employee database, and EMP table. So we have to write that PHP file, PHP tag, and here we have to check whether the add record button is clicked or not. We validate the button click by using each set method. Now we started with the PHP tag, and uh, on clicking of this add record button, then all the values which are inserted over here should get added to our EMP table of employee database on clicking of button only. So we have to validate button in PHP, so that we are validating with is set method. And at as it is coming from the form, we have the statement to read the parameter from HTML file by using dollar underscore post, because the method of our HTML form is post. And in bracket we have to give the name of our submit button. The name of our submit button is insert, that we will give in the single quote, and complete the square bracket, complete the round bracket of if. If the button is clicked, then what we have to do, we have to read the values which are entered by the user at runtime in these text boxes. So we have to find out the name of these text boxes from HTML file. So in the HTML file, we have given name to this first text box as a ID, second is name, and salary is the third text box. So we are taking that values which are entered by user in variable $I, and we are reading that parameter by using dollar underscore post. The name of first text box is ID, so that will be taken into I variable. Same we will repeat for name and salary. Name is taken into n variable from the form having text box with the name as a name, and salary of the salary text box value will be taken into s variable. Now whatever the user will enter at runtime in these three text boxes with name, ID, name, and salary will be taken into I, N, and S variable. Now we will connect with the database by $con is equal to mysqli underscore connect method. In bracket we will give the name of our local host with root as a username, empty string as a password, and name of our database, that is employee. If this connection, if this con object is not identical to true, or it is returning false, it means there is an error, could not connect to database. Error, could not connect. If there is no error, we will form a query insert into name of table is emp, and the columns are ID, name, and salary. The column names are case sensitive. In front of values parenthesis, we have to give the values, and that values are available in our I, N, and S variable. That values we have to give in the single quote as a variable name $I, comma, single quote $n, single quote, comma, in single quote $s, single quote complete. Complete bracket of values, closing double quotes of insert query, end the query with semicolon. Now we have to run the query. We will run that query with mysqli underscore query on the connection object with the query written in $SQL variable. If this returns true, then we will give a message that record inserted, and if it returns false, we have to give a message error, could not insert. Now after this we have to close this validation curly braces of submit button, and we have to close the connection by mysqli underscore close in bracket con object end tag of php. We have saved this file with dbp name and with dbp.php extension. The name of file should be the same that we have mentioned in the form action attribute dbp.php. Now we will run our HTML file on the local host. We will enter the value. Suppose I am entering 30 as a ID. Name suppose I am entering ABC, and salary suppose I am giving as a 50,000. After clicking on add record, it is showing record inserted. Let's go to the PHP My Admin panel. There are currently two records. We will refresh the PHP My Admin panel. We will be able to see the third record is inserted with the given values. Now, same we can apply to another queries having the user interface by designing that with the HTML form. Suppose in the HTML form you want to read the values. Suppose ID is read and you want to delete the record of the mentioned ID or with the mention name. Suppose I am taking a name value. Now only the query will change, like delete from table name is emp where clause, where we are giving the name as name column is having value in a single quote $n variable. Let's change the messages record deleted and could not delete. Let's have that, and in the HTML file we will be giving comment to ID and salary. Let's save the file and refresh our HTML file. Okay, sorry. Here I am just moving this, save the file, refresh the code. I want to delete a record. Suppose this SD record I want to delete having name as a SD. So in the HTML file, in the name text box, suppose I am typing SD, and here on clicking on button record is deleted. Refresh our PHP my admin panel and the record is deleted. So by this way we can have HTML form and we can connect that with the backend database of MySQL. So I hope you have understood this session of connecting the front end with the back end. See you in the next session. Thank you.